Welcome everybody and happy Tuesday. Welcome to Read Alouds with Miss Castle. I'm so excited to see you here with me today as we continue working on our new author of the week. I want you to think of, what's that author's name? Is it a boy author? Is it a girl author? What is their name? I'm going to see if we can get it before I show you. So take a couple seconds and think about it and see, are you remembering the name of the author we learned yesterday? Let's see if you're right. Let's see if you were correct, scholars. Did you guess Lois Ehlert? Did you? Awesome! I am proud of you for remembering her name. And you were right. It is a girl and her name is Lois Ehlert. Let's learn a little bit more about Lois today. Here's Lois again. Remember, I did say she is 85 years old, so she is much older than a lot of the other authors that we've talked about so far. And she looks like she's in her studio working and making art for her new books. Today we are going to first remember if she is an author, an illustrator, or both. I may have just given that away, but I think it's always important to remember what she is. Do you remember? Yes, she is both an author and an illustrator. She's both an author and an illustrator. She is both. Awesome job remembering that, even though I may have given it away. Oops. Today we are going to meet her. She's going to talk for just a little bit and we're going to be able to see who she is as a person and maybe have her talk about some of her art that she really enjoys doing. So let's go meet her for a quick few minutes.
Said they would put up a folding table for me to work on as long as I kept working. I could keep my mess on this table, and I wouldn't have to clean up every time I wanted to make something. So I grew up getting art supplies from both of them. My dad was a woodworker, my mom was a seamstress, so I had the most beautiful fabric, wonderful colors, and a lot of textural things from my dad, like nails and wire and wood. And so I think I started out doing collage without even realizing it or knowing how to spell the word, in fact. But I realized later on that this was not your average family. But when I speak to children, I always say, if you are interested in art or writing, any of the creative arts, please find a spot for yourself where you can leave your supplies and you can go there when you have an idea.
Wow, that was wonderful. I loved hearing from her and getting to see who she is as an author and an illustrator. It also really helped hearing her talk about how she likes her art and where she grew up as well. I liked hearing a little bit about Lois. In today's story, we are going to meet a character who is proud. Remember, I said yesterday, our books today and yesterday are going to be really similar. So that's why it's the same word. So today, one of our characters is going to be really proud about something that they did. In the picture, the girl is proud because she did a really nice job and she felt good about what she did. She felt really good about herself for what she did. She won a medal, which means she must have worked really, really hard to earn that medal. And once she earned that medal, she felt really nice about herself and really good about herself. I have the same sentence I used yesterday to help us see it in a sentence and understand what proud means a little bit deeper. I was proud of myself when I read the page with no mistakes. That means maybe I was uncomfortable or nervous to read. And then I went into my guided reading call and I used all of my strategies that I've learned from my teachers. And then I didn't make a single mistake. I read the whole entire page with no mistakes. And I was extremely proud of myself for how hard I worked with my reading. And I know that sometimes you guys feel like that too. When you read and then you get no mistakes and you feel really proud of yourself for working hard getting all those words correct. So I know that you understand that sentence pretty well. So in today's story, we're also going to see a character that feels really proud about themselves. The story that we're going to do today is Growing Vegetable Soup. Growing Vegetable Soup. This is actually the first book that Lois Ehlert ever made. And she made this all the way back in the 1980s. Way before I was born, way before you were ever born, maybe even way before some of your parents were born too. Talk about an old book. In today's story, I want you to think about first, what was similar in today's book than what we read yesterday? What was similar in today's book than what we read yesterday? And it's going to be pretty obvious what some of those similarities are once the story begins. Then I want you to think, why might the character be proud at the end of the story? Why might the character be proud at the end of the story? I hope you enjoy the story Growing Vegetable Soup as much as I do. Makes me want to grow vegetable soup too. I hope you enjoy. Growing Vegetable Soup, written and illustrated by Lois Ehlert. Growing Vegetable Soup. Dad says we are going to grow vegetable soup. We're ready to work, and our tools are ready too. We have a rake, a shovel, and a hoe. We are planting the seeds. Soil, seed package, whole, green bean, pea seed, corn seed, zucchini seed, and carrot seeds with garden gloves. And all the sprouts. Tomato, potato eyes, broccoli, set onions, peppers, carrots, peat moss pot with a shovel. And giving them water with the watering can. We are watering the tomatoes, potatoes, green beans, carrots, cabbage, peppers, pea squash, peas, onions, broccoli, and corn. And waiting for warm sun to make them grow. And grow. And grow into plants. Zucchini squash, squash blossom, squash bud. We watch over them and weed, hand grubber, worm, until the vegetables are ready for us to pick. Hand basket for tomatoes, peppers, and corn. Or dig up. With the spading fork, put the carrots and potatoes in the bushel basket. And carry them home, then we wash them. And cut them and put them in a pot of water. Soup pot, soup ladle, knife, broccoli, carrot, onion, corn, zucchini squash, tomato, peas, peppers, potatoes, green beans, and cabbage. And cook them into vegetable soup. At last, it's time to eat it all up. It was the best soup ever. Scholars, why would our main character be proud of themselves right now in the story? And we can grow it again next year. Did you enjoy the story Growing Vegetable Soup as much as I did? Did you also have that feeling of, oh, I want to be able to grow all of those amazing vegetables too? That's how I felt when I read the story. I was like, whoa, I want my own garden and I want to make my own vegetable soup from hand instead of going to a store to buy the vegetables. I think it's really special when someone can make something with all of the food that they have grown on their own instead of going to a grocery store and getting those things. I know that usually if I'm cooking, I go to the store and buy my ingredients, but I thought it was really special that the boy in the story didn't go to the store. Everything that they got was from their garden that they grew, and that's what they put inside of their big soup pot to make their vegetable soup. I'm glad you liked that. Do some of you like vegetables? Or do some of you not really like vegetables? Yeah, when I was your age, there weren't a lot of vegetables that I liked. Can you list some vegetables that you do like to eat? Do you like to eat carrots? Corn? Potatoes? Do you like any of those? Let's go a little bit deeper. How about cabbage? Green beans? Maybe pumpkin or squash? the more the list goes down, the more picky I get. I don't know about you, but when I was watching it, there were some vegetables where I was like, I don't want that vegetable in my soup. I'm a little picky though when I eat. What about you? Are you picky sometimes too? That's okay. At the end of the story, our character would probably feel really proud of themselves. Why do you think they would feel proud of themselves at the end of the story? Yes, they're proud of themselves because they grew all of that by themselves. They did all of the hard work, weeding it, watering it, making sure it grew into nice, big, plump vegetables before they cooked it. So they were proud of themselves because they were eating something that was first delicious, and second, they made it from their own garden. So I would also feel proud of myself if I made all of that too. What's something that's similar about today's story than the one we read yesterday? Can we name some? Awesome job naming at least 3 things that were similar about both of those books. We had that first, the same kind of coloring. They had the popsicle sticks that had the labels on them. We had that they were growing something and then they were able to use what they grew at the end. And we had that both characters felt proud of themselves for all of the hard work that they did to grow either the plants or the vegetables. That was so many similarities between those 2 books. Almost everything was similar about them, except for maybe what they were growing. One was growing flowers and the other one was growing vegetables. Awesome job. Before you leave, scholars, make sure that you click the link below. I want to see what you thought about this story and how they were similar from the book we read yesterday. I cannot wait to read your responses. Remember, I love seeing your responses, and I know sometimes not all of you finish the video and do those responses because I only see usually 10 people doing those responses, and I would love to see maybe 30 or 40 people doing those responses so I can continue making them for you. Have a wonderful rest of your day, scholars. Love all of you bunches, and I'll see you tomorrow for a Wednesday book. Goodbye, everybody.